Hi guys, so today we'll be discussing one of the most important cases related to delegated legislation. So the title of the case that we'll be dealing with is Narain Singh versus the chairman Patna. The forum by which it was decided is the Honorable Supreme Court of India on 21st of May 1954. We'll be dealing with three major acts: the Patna Administration Act of 1915, the Patna Administration Amendment Act of 1928, and the Bengal Municipal Act of 1884. Now let us look at the facts of the case. The Patna High Court granted the petitioner before it leave under Article 132(1) of the Constitution on the ground that a substantial question of law related to the interpretation of the Constitution was involved. So basically, the appellant was the secretary of the Ratepayers Association at Patna, and where he resided along with the other members was actually outside the municipal limits of Patna. So naturally they were not subjected to municipal and cognate taxation. Now on 18th of April 1951, this particular area was brought within the municipal limits under a notification that was issued under section 3 subsection 1 clause F of the Patna Administration Act 1915. So basically it empowered the local government to pick any of the sections from the Bengal Municipal Act of 1884, modify it, and then apply it to this particular area where the appellant resided. Now the local government picked out section 104 out of the act, modified it, and then applied it to this area. Now this section talked about assessment of taxes, and that is why the appellant was liable to municipal taxation. Now the arguments forwarded by the appellant, the aggrieved party, was that he has been wrongly rendered liable to pay the taxes. Now he held that this delegated legislation is actually bad in law, and section 31F of the Patna Administration Act of 1915 be held as ultra vires the Constitution. Now let us try to understand the viewpoint of the court. The court said that in subjecting the residents of the area to municipal taxation under a notification affects the essential features of the act, and that no municipality can thrust upon the citizens taxes without giving them a fair chance of being heard and an opportunity to object. Now the court also mentioned about the Delhi Laws Acts case, where it was held that the matter of policy cannot be left to the executive because the legislature has this solemnly expressed mandates. So if we do the opposite, that it would amount to changing the policy itself. So the matter of policy cannot be left with the executive. Now the court held it to be ultra vires the Constitution. Now let us examine the vires of section 1F. The court said that whenever we pick any of the sections from an act, whether it's modified or not doesn't matter, but it should not affect the essential features of the act. So subject to such limitations, the court believed that in this case no essential features of the act were violated. Hence section 31F was declared to be intra vires the Constitution. So the principle of law that has been laid down here is the separation of power, and that excessive delegated legislation is bad in law. Now an executive authority can be authorized to modify the existing or future laws, but it cannot affect the essential features of any act. Now what are the essential features cannot be enunciated in general terms, but it is clear by now that whenever a modification is made, it must not affect the essential features of the act. Now as Justice B.K. Mukherjee rightly contended, that essential legislative function consists in the determination of the legislative policy and its formulation as a binding rule of conduct. So I think this contention encapsulates the crux of this judgment. Thank you.